facets to this: my career and what happened, this investigation, independent investigation, which has been far from independent, and then the cover-up. I mean, to say that members of the panel, while this investigation was live, were being entertained by Yorkshire County Cricket Club at the Test match at Headingley just shows the arrogance of these people, that they felt so untouchable that little old Azeem Rafiq, no one's going to believe him, and will just discredit him.
Joining me now for more from North Shields, England, is Paul Kearns. He's the Deputy Chief Executive of UK's largest anti-racism educational charity called Show Racism the Red Card. So, Paul, why do we constantly see these incidents of racism sprouting up in English sports? Why so many, and why is this such a difficult thing to tackle?
I think very sadly because we have a problem with racism in our society, and as long as we have a problem with racism in our society, then we see these high-profile cases within sport. Azeem Rafiq has been very brave and very honest and very open, and should be commended for highlighting this issue, which has obviously been a very difficult one for him. It's been a struggle and a personal journey that he's had to fight to get to this point. But sadly, that is the truth. As long as we have problems with racism in British society, and of course, as we've seen across the world over the last 12 to 18 months, those problems with racism will manifest in sport as well.
What effect does it have when these things keep coming out in the media? And of course, they don't just make local news. This is a worldwide story when things like this happen. What does it do to the sport?
It shines a spotlight on the sports. And we should welcome that. We should welcome any opportunity where a spotlight is shone upon issues of racism. We should embrace that, and we should look to see what we can learn and what we can do to tackle it. But that's exactly what's happened here. Yorkshire County Cricket Club are in the spotlight. The English Cricket Board are now in the spotlight, and the sport as a whole, from top to bottom, is under the spotlight to see what problems that they have with structural racism, what lessons can be learned about this, what can be done about it, and how we can prevent it happening again in the future.
Yeah, obviously this conversation comes up whenever we do see an ugly incident, and now we have the government investigating these claims. What has been done by them, as well as by sports clubs in the UK, to try to get to the heart of this issue?
Yeah, well, we've seen legislative changes over many years within the UK. We've seen huge changes made by the Stephen Lawrence inquiry, the Equality Act of 2010. But we still have more to do. We still have further to go on this journey. And I think what we should also particularly acknowledge is that MPs have got involved, and MPs have really helped to push this case, because the report that was commissioned by Yorkshire Cricket Club didn't go far enough. There hasn't been the cooperation that was required with the ECB. And Mr. Rafiq has been, say, extremely brave and dogged in his pursuit of this case, to say that he doesn't want somebody else to go through what he's had to go through recently. And I think we should actually welcome the government, the MP and the Select Committee intervention, which has, as I say, shone a spotlight on what is a huge issue, and an issue that needs tackling. And I think now the eyes of the world are watching and waiting to see what happens next. The ECB have said that lessons will be learned, that changes will be made. And knowing that they're under the gaze of parliamentarians should only spur them on in those objectives to make positive changes within the sport.
All right, you've certainly been involved in this issue. Paul Kearns, thanks so much for joining us.